Well, hello and welcome. So glad that you're here. Want to welcome you to a new thing live where we encourage you in the thing, that new thing that God wants to do in your life. And do you know that He wants to? Do you know that He has new things that He wants to do? Sometimes we get so stuck in doing the same thing the same way. And He's saying, no, I have something new. His word promises, behold, I will. He says, I will. Look and see. I will do a new thing. And so I want to welcome you to a new thing live. My name is Cyndi Galley. I am the host of this show. And I'm so blessed and honored to get to do this. It is so much fun. It was a dream of mine for years, even since I was a little girl, to interview and to be on camera, but not just to be on camera, but to bring something that would encourage the people that were watching. But when I was young, I didn't know what that was. And as I got older, I began to get more of an understanding of what that was. And so today, you get to be a part of that. And I'm so excited. I'm so blessed to be able to do it with my team. Faithful women of God that are creative and who just love being a part of this. And you, thank you so much for joining. So we have an incredible show for you today. And so viewers, for those of you that are watching, whether you're watching us on Roku, want to welcome you watching on Creative Motion Network. If you're watching us on Facebook, if you're watching us on YouTube, I want to welcome you. Whether it's your first time or your 50th time, we're just so glad that you're here. This is a creative space. And so we want you to dream. I tell people sometimes, bring out your journal. God's going to talk to you. He's going to show you things. He's going to download things to you. And whether it's regarding something you're praying about right now, maybe you've never prayed before. And maybe it's just, you're like, I'm just going to watch this. And all of a sudden you're going, wow, things are stirring on the inside of me. What is that? Get your journal out. Get your journal out so you can write what you're envisioning. You write down what you're hearing or what you're sensing. And also, for those of you that like to jump on in the chat room, we want to encourage you to do that too. Jump in on the chat with the things that are going to be talked about in tonight's episode. I cannot believe we're already almost the middle of December. What in the world? But I do pray that as you're prepping for Christmas Eve and services and parties and Christmas Day with family, whether you're traveling, that you're being safe, that you're remembering what this season is all about. It is all about Jesus. And we don't know for sure. I don't believe He was born in December. We celebrate in December. But it's still the holiday where we celebrate His birth. And having just come back from Israel and overlooking the field that more than likely was the field where the angels appeared to the shepherd declaring the birth of Jesus, it's like, oh my goodness, more than ever, this season just means so much to me. Here's the thing, Emmanuel, God is with us. He is with you. So I don't know what you're going through. I don't know if you're going through a season of chaos, or maybe fear, maybe anxiety, maybe sickness. I'm just declaring even over you right now, God is with you. Emmanuel, God is with us. That's what Emmanuel means. So when you listen to these songs, I do love the Christmas songs like Nat King Cole, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire. So many Christmas songs. Harry Connick Jr., Sleigh Bell, Sleigh Ride. And so many, White Christmas, Bing Crosby, but more than all of those, it's like when I hear Oh Holy Night, I just tear up in my eyes. When I sing Silent Night, I get very teary-eyed. When we sing Oh Come, Let Us Adore Him, this is the King of Kings. God in flesh comes down in the form and the likeness of man for you and for me to redeem and to restore. I pray that as you sing these Christmas songs, especially the ones that are based on biblical teaching and understanding, that you would have just such a fresh revelation of what God wants to be in your life, who he wants to be in your life. He wants to be your peace, your Prince of Peace, your hope, your joy, all of the things, all of the things. Oh, come, let us adore him. So I pray that this Christmas season, your heart is lifted, your heart is strengthened, that you have the joy of the Lord. And if you've never had that before, ask him for it. Say, if you're real. Cyndi's talking about this joy, and it's different than happiness. I know the difference because I've been both. There was a time where I really wasn't walking with the Lord, and I'm a generally happy person, but there's something about the joy of the Lord when you invite him into your space. Make room for him. I can't remember that song, but making him let every heart prepare him room. Oh, you're talking about the Lord. You're saying, let every heart make space and place for him. Prepare him room. And then heaven and nature can sing. So I'm just so excited. I love Christmas season for so many reasons. Some wonderful things have happened in my life, transpired. God has downloaded some amazing things to me during the holiday season. As a single woman, almost feeling sorry for myself because I was still single, and I love the romance of it all. And boy, God just began to minister to my heart about who I was in him as a single woman. And let me tell you, my head was lifted. He's the lifter of our head. He's the lifter of your head. So all of that to say, I love this season. I pray you're having a wonderful season, not spending too much, and loving the people that are in your life. You know, I was thinking about my dad was with us last year, and this season he is with the Lord. And even for Thanksgiving, it was weird to not be able to call him and just say happy Thanksgiving. Actually, most of the time I would be in Wisconsin for Thanksgiving, which is where he lived and where all my family lives. Well, not all, but a majority of my immediate family lived there. And it was just so interesting. But I think, you know, if you're at odds with anybody, if you're at odds with any of your family members, like, let that go. Let it go. Let this be a season where you say, you know, maybe that person hurt me, or maybe things that they've done have hurt me. Yes, we do need our boundaries. I get that, but let it go. Would you say, Lord, help me to forgive and to forget so that I can truly love and celebrate you this season? And I just say that because, you know, sometimes we just think that person will be here tomorrow, or that person will be here next holiday season. And so just thinking he's not here this holiday season, he's not here this Christmas, breaks my heart. And I know it, my family as well. But I just want to encourage you, if you're in that place, like, let it go so that you can love the ones that are in your life. You can love the ones that God has given as your family unit. You've been placed with those people for a reason. So I pray that the true heart and meaning of Christmas just infuses your heart today and throughout the rest of the season as we go into the new year. Okay. So are you ready for our guest today? I am so excited about tonight's special guest. This is a mighty woman full of talent and gifting and creativity. And oh my goodness, you're going to fall in love with her. I fell in love with her over email, and I felt like, oh my goodness, I cannot wait to meet her in person. And so we've been talking about having her on the show, just with all of the different things that she's a part of. I'm not going to tell you a whole lot right now because I want it to be unveiled as she's here on the show today. And she's got some breaking news for us as well, but she has a wonderful, beautiful cartoon being released this month, and you're going to hear all about it. Would you please help me welcome, and let me make sure that I have everything that I need to bring this wonderful woman on the set. Now, you know what? This is terrible, actually. Let me just bring her on the set. Would you please help me welcome Kristen Collier? Kristen, are you here?
Cyndi?
Hello, my friend. How are you out there in the Midwest? How are things going?
I'm doing great. How about you, Cyndi?
Doing so well. Well, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, Happy New Year.
You too. You too.
Thank you. It's so good to have you on here. I know, we have been talking about it. I met you as you and your husband, Kevin, had invited A New Thing Live to be a part of your Roku family through your Creative Motion Network.
Mm-hmm.
And such a blessing to get to have you in my life. I know we just kind of intersect mostly with email, but today is the first time that I get to see you.
I'm thrilled. I've been wanting to connect with you for so long, and it took me forever to finish my cartoon. Now I'm finally getting caught up with things.
I'm so excited. So congratulations on that. I do want to talk about that. Of course, that's really why we have you on here, to talk about the release of your cartoon. How exciting is that?
Yes.
Right?
Super exciting.
Yes, talk to us a little bit about, how did you fall into animation, first of all? I want to talk about the release, but I want to build up to that. So you're an animator. How long have you been animating? How long have you known, like, I have a desire to make cartoons? I'm always just amazed.
Never actually. And that's why I want to say to all you cougars out there, like me, you're never too old to learn something, because I'm 53 and I learned animation during the lockdown. And I have to tell you, I was a total poser when I learned it, because I learned it during the lockdown. So I've only been animating for less than 3 years. And that's why I really want to speak to all of your viewers who are like me, over 50, and think, no, I can't do anything really, really hard or extraordinary. Yes, you can. You just do it one day at a time. And it sounds silly, but I used to, years ago when Dr. Phil was a big thing, and watching him, and he would say, like, okay, if you do something now, and in 5 years from now, if you keep it up at it, is it still going to be worthwhile? And I would think of that. It's like, yeah, it is worthwhile to take it one day at a time and keep trying it. And so that's my animation right there. That's Benny the Barnacle and Killer the Krill. And actually, my husband back there, he's currently editing our sermon for this morning for the pastor, and he's the artist and writer. But I learned lockdown, and the funny thing is I never wanted to. I was a poser when I started, for real. I kept thinking of myself as, like, in my mind, I thought of myself as a poser. Seriously, I kept thinking, okay, I'll do a little bit of animation, I'll try it, and then I'll get discovered, and the characters will get discovered. Never thinking I would actually bring it to completion myself, and I would have to make a whole cartoon myself.
Oh my goodness. So
that was horrible, Cyndi. That was horrible, because I never wanted to do it. It was hard to learn. But it's like, you know what? I was determined because, well, basically I did it out of love for my husband, because I wanted his characters to be seen. And so I just kept at it, and I worked really super hard. I spent 2 years on that cartoon, Benny the Barnacle. But that's my point. I would say to all women is, especially for us over 50, don't give up. And I was a total poser in my own mind for the first 2 years, because I kept thinking, okay, I'll do a little bit and I'll do a little bit, and then our characters will get discovered, and then we can hire somebody to animate it. And it didn't happen, so I had to learn how to do it myself.
There's something so powerful about that. And I have to say, being a creative, I'm right there with you. I remember years ago, I was at a women's conference, and for years, I had always felt like, where is the faith-based fashion magazines? Because I loved Vogue, I loved Bazaar since I was younger, like junior high.
Yeah.
17 magazine. And I would just say, where are the faith-based magazines that are going to encourage women in the word of God and in their purpose and walking in their identity and, fulfilling the call of God in their life, but yet there's fashion in there. And at some point I thought, I feel like I'm going to have to be the one to do something about that, but I'm going to put that on the shelf for now. And when the Lord asked me, are you ready? And I said, for what? And it was for the magazine. The first thing I said was like, I don't know anything about publishing a magazine.
Wow.
And it was just this, take the next step. I prayed about it. Take the next step. I shared it with a dear sister of mine in the Lord, and she told me the title. I didn't even like the title, which ended up being Fashioned, which was what our title was. And there was so many things about that. We'll have to talk about that another time. But it was just taking each step to the next thing was like, okay, now I've secured the URL. I've secured the Instagram, the Facebook. I know this is the name. And now I need to download magazine template to start. I mean, I just was walking this journey out by myself, and it was scary.
Wow.
And it was frustrating. I learned InDesign. That's how I learned InDesign.
Wow.
Was because the template that I purchased was an InDesign. So then it was like, okay, now I'm in Adobe world, in Adobe land, which was so new to me. But there's something so beautiful. And I know you felt like a poser. I totally get it. But at the same time, you were anything but that.
No, I was, and I was fine with it because I never wanted to animate. I didn't.
Wow, I am so impressed because, having seen your fun character and seeing, Bunny and just seeing all of the different things that you've done, I'm like, I cannot believe that you learned this during lockdown.
Well, I started actually during I was determined because Kevin and we started in Christian children's TV over a decade ago, and just never, we had a children's show based on our undersea characters produced by a cable Christian network, and they ended up not fulfilling, they didn't produce the show after we had completed 26 episodes of art and stories and everything. And so just tried to do a bunch of things. And over the years, this was like a decade ago. And so then we built the Roku channel, Creative Motion Network, to help give Christian indie creatives some exposure and stuff. And so for the animation during the lockdown, basically fast forward, like that character, Benny the Barnacle, first came about during that children's show. And I remember when Kevin first drew him, he was part of the Hope the Angelfish series, and he was so cute. And he was one of my favorites from over a decade ago. And then Kevin made a couple of story time videos with a little bit of animation over the years. But so this character, Benny, came about like forever ago. And then during the lockdown, I was determined. I thought, you know what? Kevin's artwork is so cute. I want kids to be inspired by his characters, and his writing is beautiful. And I was determined as his wife, if nobody else is going to make it happen, I'm going to. So during the lockdown, very methodically, I wasn't going to give up. I started by researching animation software that was easy to use and economical. And I want to give a shout out to Cartoon Animator 4 by Reallusion. Great software, and it's inexpensive and has so many templates. It's easy to use and learn. And so during the lockdown, I just started watching their YouTube tutorials and watched them forever. Then I said, hey, Kev, can I get the software? Because I didn't want to make an emotional, rash decision. And I wanted to do it with his approval as the creator of the characters and as the head of the house, my husband. So he said, yes, I can get the software. So I just slowly learned it. But all this time in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I'll just do a little bit of this and, put something out there, and then somebody else will take it over. And that didn't happen. So finally, like about a year ago, I really buckled down and I started to produce some animated short cartoons. And I think the first one was like a 12-minute cartoon called Blink, which is a red cyclops octopus. Then and they're all his characters. And then, yeah, that's Blink. And then Whispering Wally, which is a whale. And that was like a 13-minute cartoon. But I worked so hard to learn how to do all of that. Yeah, Tori vanishes. I worked so hard to learn all of that animation just to get those out there. And then in the meantime, for Benny the Barnacle, we were able to line up some people who were in it, like Corbin Burnson, who plays the dad in Psych. He's the featured actor in Benny the Barnacle. And then we have two others, Lou Graham from Foreigner, the singer of Foreigner. is in our cartoon. And Marta Kristen, who is Judy on Lost in Space, in our
cartoon. Wow, that is amazing.
Here's
okay.
Poser animator, like, you mean I'm animating? I can't let these people down. They're way too
singing. Gifted. I've been waiting.
Yes. Well, I don't think I'll reveal this now, but I can say this. He actually sang a line from one of his songs in the cartoon. I couldn't believe it.
That is fabulous.
I don't think I'll reveal that now.
Well, hello.
I don't think I'll reveal. I think I'm going to hold off. I don't know. We'll see. But okay, I'm going to reveal right now on A New Thing Live.
Urgent.
Well, come on in and tell. Kevin just sang the line. Can I tell her? Yeah. Okay. He sings a line from Urgent. Emergency. Urgent. And so when you prayed earlier and talked about urgency, it's like his name is Urgent Eel. He's an eel. I can show you.
Yes.
Let me go back there. And also, let me go back. Oh, okay, that's the reveal. I'm going to do one more reveal.
Wow, but I feel so privileged. Okay, do you guys just realize what just happened? She just revealed something huge about one of her characters and a fun little portion. So the character's Urgent, the eel.
Well, let me go back because I had another one queued up. Also, I'm going to reveal to you first Marta Kristen, who is Judy on Lost in Space. She's this character right here.
Let's see. Wow.
That's her beautiful character. She's a beautiful seahorse. And I don't know if you can tell, it even looks like her. So sweet.
That is so fun. Oh, so
you're breaking this news. Marta Kristen, I haven't told anybody I haven't showed this publicly. She's Serenity Seahorse, and she's so sweet. When I talk to her on the phone, she's as sweet as what you would think. Let me grab
wow.
You can see Lou's character. Hold on.
Yeah. I love this.
Yeah.
Getting to see all of these characters firsthand, sneak peek here on A New Thing Live.
That's Lou's character. That's his head.
Look at that.
Oh, body.
How sweet.
Let's see.
Love those characters.
And I mean, they're so. That's Lou's body, his singing line. Where he sings a line from Urgent. So you get breaking news, 2 characters.
I love that.
I've sat on this forever, and it was hard to keep it quiet.
Oh my goodness. Well, congratulations on all of that. I'm so excited. You've got the Benny the Barnacle. Christmas weekend, is that when that's being released?
It is, and let me think. Okay, yeah, it's going to be on the Creative Motion Network Christmas weekend, and so we'll be dropping a trailer soon as well. So you can show the sneak peeks. Those are for other cartoons. Yeah.
It's better than a ride on a sleigh. It's better than a ride through the hay. It's better than the gifts or the glitter or the goodies. It's better than any of these.
Yay!
That's the Bunny Evangelist. The creator of her, Debbie, calls her a Bunny Evangelist. Cherry the Resurrection Rabbit. She's so cute.
So many fun characters. I could just see the little ones dancing. You know, isn't it something when they watch something so cute like this in animated, how they just know to start dancing? I mean, they're not even 2 and they're bouncing up and down and moving their head around.
Well, the Thanksgiving one I did for her, there's a line that goes, "I'm so thankful I'm a bunny, not a turkey." And then you hear gobbling sound. It's so cute. It's hilarious.
Oh my
The lady who is a creator of Cherry the Resurrection Rabbit, she has a bunch of CDs, music CDs. She has like a giant puppet she's made of her, and so I just started doing cartoons for her, and she's so creative. She has so much music. Like there's one called Bedtime Bunnies that I'm going to be doing. It's so fun and
I
cute.
love that. And here's the thing is that you made the preview for this, right? You made the preview for the cartoon. I mean, I'm just still in awe of all that you are able to do, all that you've produced, all that you've created. And you know what's so beautiful about this, Kristen, is you said it a couple of times. I hope people catch this, is you were doing it to support your husband.
Yeah.
And I love that. You know, it's like, I always feel like sometimes there's a tension sometimes in marriages. I've never been married, okay, but having counsel people, listen to people, and sometimes there's a tension because it's like, well, they're always doing this and I want them to do that. Mm-hmm. And what you said was so profound, because not that you guys were having a tension, but I love that your heart was like, you know what, I want to serve him in this capacity. I want to help him. The help meet part of it, the helper part of it is what I'm just so beautifully seeing. And now as a result, you have all these fun things, you know, all of your characters and Blink and all of these different characters. I just love seeing, and to know that you just really learned how to do this over the last couple of years, doing the research, doing the work, which are what's going to be a good animating program for you. I just applaud you. I am just so in awe of really what the human can do. We have the ability, every one of us has the ability of doing something beyond ourselves. And that's what I'm seeing, and that's what I'm hearing, and that's what I'm watching as we get to celebrate all of these things that you're doing. And you have so much joy, and there's so much life in you, just seeing the joy that you have. As a result, I know that when we walk in those things, it's like you're doing what you've been born to do. Not that that's the only thing, because I know there's so many different facets to who you are. But I just love that. How is that added to your life, you know, in your 50s now? You and I are the same age, girl.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, Cyndi, this is actually my mission, animation, and it's the craziest thing. So what I did not want to do and initiated for my husband, I can feel it's my mission. And that's why identity is so crucial. It's crucial in these last days that we have a crystal clear sense of our identity. And I mean, I could go on and on about that. Let me just say this. On December 15th, 2014, I dedicated the rest of my life to prayer and fasting. And God took away my hunger for 4 days, and I didn't eat. And I wasn't hungry, and he filled me with joy like never before. And it was insane, miraculous, because I've never had that experience before or since. And I can honestly say that almost 8 years later, I still feel God's love every day without fail. There's never a time when I have not felt his love. Now, I've endured a lot since then, some health scares of different things and a lot of stress, but I felt his love the entire time. And so during that time of when I first started fasting, and I almost never fast now anymore, but it's where my heart is. During that time, after about 3 days, I can remember it crystal clear. It was Monday. By that Wednesday night, this image came in my mind of who I am to God, so powerful that it's like I've never forgotten that, and that's helped me to endure so much in the last 8 years or whatever. And so to say, also that goes in keeping with what you said about wives. I noticed it seems like so many wives are in competition with their husbands. Like I can remember when I first started, we're authors also, and we first started writing books, I would see these wives and it seemed like they were jealous of their husbands. And I would think, why? Why are you jealous? Like if I was jealous of Kevin, he's an artist and a writer, super gifted. I'm not gifted. I work hard. He's actually gifted. He can write and draw. And if I didn't have a clear sense of my identity, I'd be in trouble because then I'd be jealous of him. And that's why it's so crucial to have that sense of identity, basically. And also what you mentioned about mission, what's crazy is I started off animating and I was admittedly a poser and I wasn't shy about it. I didn't mind it. But what's really crazy is that because it's my mission to support Kevin's artistry and characters, there are times when I can spend 12, 16-hour days, a lot of time the last few years, animating, and the time flies by. Like I'll be sitting here animating, like my stomach is growling. I'm like, what's going on? Why is my stomach growling? I don't even realize I'm hungry because I haven't eaten anything. I'm so engrossed in the animating and the time flies by. That's why, and another thing, it's like, I sit here on my computer and Kevin's here, but it's like if I'm working, we can't be chatting or interacting and stuff, or, and he's working on his projects, but it's like, it's basically a really solitary thing. So that's why I encourage for all of you women out there, when you find your mission, that's when you're going to find joy. I can't stress that enough. When you find your mission, that's when you're going to have joy, and you can be totally alone and be filled with joy when you're plugged into what you, and for me, it wasn't something I wanted.
Yes, I love that. And you're absolutely right. We find that joy when we're walking in the thing that we've been purposed and designed to do. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people will wait forever. I remember watching a YouTube show. It was probably like 4 years ago. And I was watching this gal and I was crying because I said, she's doing what I want to do. And I felt like the Lord just challenged me. Why aren't you doing it?
I'm so thankful you are, because I love your show and your fashion sense. I used to do social media marketing for a women's apparel company. I've always loved fashion. So I am thankful that's like, because I was like you, I grieve the fact that there aren't any really cool Christian women engaging fashion, but also to have a right perspective about it the way you do, where it's for pleasure and enjoyment. It's not an idol, but it's something you have fun with. So it's like, thank you for doing that. What you're doing is so needed. I'm thankful for your show and magazine and everything you're doing.
Thank you so much. Well, I'm thrilled. I'm excited. I know that your Benny the Barnacle is being released?
It's going to be on it'll be on the Creative Motion Network, our free Roku channel, Christmas weekend, just for Christmas weekend while it's awaiting distribution. So it'll be coming on to mainstream streaming platforms. We're just waiting for that. And so it'll just be on the Roku channel for Christmas weekend. And the one thing, but it'll be free for people to watch. For people that don't have Roku, you have to have either a Roku TV or device to watch the Creative Motion channel. Some people think, I can just go on the Roku app. No, you can't. It's just because that's their own private channel.
Okay. Okay, wonderful. So those are some ways that we can watch and join in with Benny the Barnacle. How fun is that? That is so exciting. May there just be more creativity in that room. Lord, just allow that creativity to flow in Jesus' name. I love that. Oh, now the cartoon character behind you, it's a cute little, is that a stuffed animal?
It's a Benny pillow I made on Zazzle.
That is adorable.
He's so cute. I love him.
Good. So you've got Benny right there up close and personal.
He's so cute.
He's so cute. Are you going to have, hi, Kevin, are you going to have more merchandise? You guys are just killing it out there. I love seeing everything coming out of your studio. How fun.
Well, we have T-shirts that we sell on Amazon. The name is Christian Wear, XINwear.com. But other than that, I think Amazon lets you do like a, what do you call it? Like a phone case and other types of merch. So basically that's it. Yeah.
Wow, how wonderful, Kevin. How has it been for you to have Kristen just come alongside and jump in to help you fulfill the things that you've been working on? I think that's wonderful. I just applaud her in doing that.
Well, usually she keeps me locked away in a room and I have to draw all day long. She lets me out for meals. Sometimes I can sleep in the bed. But animation is not all it's cracked up to be. It can be brutal sometimes.
Sure. Yeah, I can't even imagine because me being on just the publishing side of things, magazine, and only primarily writing or dealing with graphics, I cannot imagine the animation side of things. But I'm just so thrilled about what you guys are doing, and just pray that all of the right doors open at that appointed time. So you keep creating and then it gets outside. You know, it was so interesting. I was at an event last year, and it was a missions event, and it was with our missions press for our denomination, and they're the ones that publish and they print up our magazine. And I just heard this softest voice said, I said to go into all the world. Oh, I was like, oh. It just dawned on me. We've been pushing our magazines in the States, but there's more. There's life. There are people outside that need to be encouraged, that need to be strengthened, that need to be delivered, that need to be healed, that need to be helped, that need to have hope, joy, peace, all of the things that Jesus already paid for on the cross, right? And it opened my eyes like, oh my goodness, I haven't been fulfilling to the fullness the things that God's put in my heart. So I pray that what the Lord has spoken to you both, that everything to the farthest parts of the earth, to every character that's in your heart, to titles that he's given you, to different platforms that he's given you, through the different media outlets he's given you, whether it's cartoon, animation, books, whatever, movies, TV, all of the above, that it all happens for you and through you mightily in the name of Jesus. And we just have to keep calling out on him to help us with the resources for sure. But I just pray that, you know, everything that you've produced there, it just goes out and it continues to reach these kids. I love seeing these cartoon characters. They are so cute and they are so fun.
Fun, yeah.
And then just seeing all of the different capacities, how God's bringing people to partner with you. So just continue to put your hand to the plow and move forward in the things God's put in your heart. I'm excited for the both of you.
Thank you,
Thank
Cyndi.
you.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me to be a part of your network. It really has been just such a joy and an honor. I know I don't always get you guys the descriptions in time, but
I think, Elder, don't worry.
Thank you. But you have a lot going on, so I need to try to step it up and do that every week.
We have your back. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Was there anything else that you wanted to share, Kristen or Kevin? I know, Kristen, you had shared that you had a young gal, 4 years old. She became an author at 4 years old after meeting a homeless man.
Yes.
And she's the voice of Hope the Angelfish, which I love that. Did you want to talk a little bit about that? I know you have several different characters. What are the main character names of your cartoon?
Well, Benny the Barnacle, and also that right there is Killer the Krill. And you mentioned the international reach, so I'll mention the little girl Elisa, but also before that, she's the voice of Hope the Angelfish, which is one of our main characters. And what's amazing, the international reach. Killer the Krill is done by an artist in Mexico City, Jose Carlos Gutierrez, and he's the president of Comics 35 Next Gen, the International Christian Comics Ministry. Great, talented artist. And it's amazing. We have international, connection with him, and with his voice, the accent of Killer the Krill. His accent is so cool to hear Krill with his Spanish accent. It's really neat. But then also in Benny the Barnacle, the narrator's in Scotland, and he's a man, wonderful man, pastor's son, Matthew Todd. and he studied at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. So he's like the next Andrea Bocelli. And he sings the theme song of Benny the Barnacle, the feature cartoon that's coming out. And all proceeds for that are going to help build an orphanage in Uganda. And he's a phenomenally gifted man. And then at our church's studio, Allendale Christian Media, we had these international students from Kenya who are here working on their masters in the computer science fields. And so they're going to be learning animation, video production, amazing, wonderful young students. And so it's like, here we are able to just really reach the world right from where we live. And we're so thankful for that. Oh, also, I was going to mention this is so amazing. So we did these 2022 Christian Annie Awards at our church that we hosted back in January. And so Jose was there remotely, as were some others. And this little girl and her mom, who is one of the voice actresses, they were there. And turns out that, and they're, I think, in Alabama remotely. And so they connected with Jose afterwards, and I think they knew like a missionary somewhere in South America, or they got connected to that. And then also Jose is connected to comics artists in Kenya. So it's amazing how you reach the world remotely, wherever you are. But getting back to Elisa, this little girl, she became an author at age 4. I can't think of her book. It's called The Day I Met Walt, when she met a homeless man. And it's beautiful. She illustrated herself. And now she's 12, and she's the voice of Hope the Angelfish. She's Shelly Jelly, the little jellyfish in Blink. And she's phenomenal. And so here's this little 12-year-old girl who's learning animation. Her mom, Tarita, is a producer, and just wonderful, wonderful women. So it was one of those things where I met them. I was going to be on this event remotely, and this event didn't really come together. And a bunch of people were invited. It was a remote event somewhere, film festival, and like nobody showed up. So I'm like, oh wow, this was not good. But then I ended up meeting her and her mom, and now like 2 years later, she's the voice of our Hope the Angelfish. She's in our cartoons. She's learning animation. Just a little girl, just turned 12. And I mean, to reach everybody all over the world with the internet. I mean, we want to create entertainment for kids that encourages children and adults.
Yes.
And so God is opening doors to that end, and we're thankful.
I'm so thankful too. With what you're sharing, it's just a reminder you're never too young.
Yeah.
And you're never too old.
Yes.
And I remember one of my best friends, one of her sons, when he was much younger, he created the cutest comic. It was all, he wrote it, he drew it, and the storyline. I read the whole thing and I go, this has to get published. It never did. And all of her kids are so creative. I'm like, your kid needs to be on Disney. I mean, I was always just the greatest. They were such good actors and all of this. But parents, if you see that, or aunts or uncles, if you see these kids, and whether they're 4, whether they're 8, whether they're 12, and you see them in their gift, encourage them in that. It gently, not in a forced way, but just gently encouraging them, cheering them on, saying, this is great. You're a great cartoon drawer. You're a great animator. What a great storyline, and help them to believe in themselves, in the thing that God's already given them. Or maybe they're singers, or maybe they're actors. And of course, there are other things as well, maybe a mathematician and science and all of this. So I'm talking on the creative side of things. With Teen Fashioned, our girls most of them started at the age of 12 on the team. And it's like, Jesus at 12. A dear friend of mine has a ministry called J12 Ministry, Jesus at 12. It's like he already knew his father's business. Well, didn't you know I should be about my father's business? And kids already know sometimes. They just, when I was 7, I loved interviewing people. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, just pay attention to the signs and allow that gift and help them, whatever you can do to encourage them. So I'm excited. for Elisa, and just that she's a part of some of the different characters that you have with Blink. And I thought when you're talking about the guy in Mexico, I thought about Puss in Boots, with that. I don't remember who the actor is.
I think it's Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas, yes. And so I love that. Like, yes.
Yes.
We need to see that.
Yes.
And hear it. Is there anything else that you would want to share before we wrap this time? I'm so sad because I would love to definitely have you back. I think there's just some other things we can connect and talk about as well. And then my wheels are spinning as well.
I just really want to encourage, like I said, all you cougars out there, if a 53-year-old lady can learn animation, you can do anything. Just do it one day at a time. And also for kids, like we have little 3-year-old and 7-year-old kids at our church, they can do it. So if you're young, you can do it. Don't let anybody stop you. And you can, because of digital technology, you can get your books, even like a comic book, you can put it on Amazon and publish it yourself. Yes. And it's the same thing for filmmakers, because people have asked us, I want to get my film made or my life story or whatever. You really have to do it yourself nowadays, because and you can, because if you have just a phone with a 4K camera, you can produce your own film. And really, these distributors and other streaming entities, they want to see what you've done. They don't want to hear a script or life story. They want to see, and if they see something you've done, they like it and it's raw or whatever, just produce it to the best of your ability. Then they'll pay attention. So you really have to produce something yourself nowadays to have it go somewhere and not wait for the big break. You can just do it yourself.
That's so good. So good. I had a guest on a little bit in October, and also she was our special guest at Influence Women OC, which is a branch of Influence Women Hollywood. And she came here at our launch for our chapter, and she did her own thing. She just started filming her own, raising money, and then just doing her own film, and so it was just wonderful just to see that. And we definitely need to have a lot more of that. Sometimes we want to wait on somebody else, but you're right. We do need to do it.
I felt, like I said, to have Corbin Burnson, Marta Kristen, and Lou Graham in my very first real cartoon, I was extremely intimidated. I thought, I can't do this. But then I thought, no, I have to. I have to do it to the best of my ability and figure, you know what? I'm doing it to the best I can, and it's not going to be perfect like Disney, but at least I can do something respectful. And that's why I spent 2 years making this 24-minute long cartoon. So, but I just did it over time, a little bit at a time. And I was very methodical. I did not do anything in a lazy slipshod fashion for that reason. So even if you think, I can't do this. I'm not an artist. I have an English degree. But I have Kevin's art, and I just took the time to learn it. And it's like I have peace in my heart knowing I did it to the best of my ability and didn't cut any corners. I wasn't lazy. Like any woman who says, I want to make a film or whatever, but I'm not good enough. Do it to the best of your ability. Take your time to do it. Take your time and just spend the time spend the time to learn the technical skills. And then when you get to the point, say, hey, you know what, this is the best I can. And then say, that's good enough, and put it out there. And that's how you're going to get your film or book or something produced, really, by doing it yourself nowadays.
So good. So good. Well, thank you for sharing that. So much of what you shared today, whether you're married or single, you talked a little bit about some wonderful things I think that would help wives in supporting their husband and their vision. I think there's something so powerful and so needed for that today.
Oh, yeah.
We just need to see more unity in homes between husband and wife and in families. And so that was so good. The fact that you're, encouraging young people just to step out to do what they're called to do. Doesn't matter if they're 4, 5 years old or 12 years old. So good. But then also just taking the time to invest in yourself. And I love that you're saying I don't cut any corners. There's something to be said about doing it right, it and taking your time. I'm in the middle of a docudrama that I started filming Oh, I think it was the year before the pandemic. I started filming it in 2019, and we're halfway through, but we even filmed last year. Uh, my roomie at the time had COVID, and we were supposed to film. And so I had to direct the drama portion via Zoom through my camera operator. So he was there. I had been exposed, and because they were actors and actresses, they were not, if you know that you've been exposed to somebody, they couldn't be around me.
Right.
So I directed via Zoom, and we're still working on it little by little, piece by piece. And we're just taking these baby steps, and who knows when it'll be done, but it will be done.
Right. Yeah.
And so thank you for that. Even as you're sharing, I'm just encouraged in my own and the things that I know I still need to do. And so author, cartoon animator, all of these wonderful things that God's given you. And, he says, well done to you. Well done. Because you're not the steward that's been given 2 talents and you hid them. No, whatever you've been given, you're using them and to impact people. And I love that. I know the Lord loves that even more than I do. So well done. Well done. I just want to be sure that we get your information. Let's see, Collier Animation Studio. And if you want to visit their website, it's collieranimationstudio.com. And then please get Roku and get access to the Creative Motion Network so that you can watch Benny the Barnacle. And we're excited for the release date. We're excited for all of these wonderful things that you have coming on. So, well, the Lord bless you, Kristen. The Lord bless you. And Kevin, thank you so much for coming and hanging out and encouraging our viewers in doing the thing that God wants to do in them and through them. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. I'm just so honored to have you in my life and to be a part of your world. And thank you so much for blessing us today with the gift of you and just everything that you're doing and impacting people the way that you are. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Cyndi. We want to invite everybody to Grand Rapids, Michigan. We love all of you guys, and it's a great place here. So come to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and we'll inspire you.
Yeah, I'll need to come out to Grand Rapids so we can encourage each other and go shopping.
Yes, Express, definitely.
Yes.
Express shopping friend. Oh, best store ever. Best store God ever created, I say.
I love that. All right. Well, everybody, please head over to collieranimationstudio.com. And Kristen, again, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you, my friend. And we look forward to seeing Benny the Barnacle out on Christmas weekend.
Yeah. Thank you, Cyndi. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Okay. Well, please do check out Benny the Barnacle on Collier Animation Studio Christmas weekend and introduce Benny to your family, to your relatives, to your friends, to your neighbors. And let's just jump on this wonderful, wonderful boat with all of the different characters they've created there. And let's just support them. Let's show them we believe in what you're doing. Yes, and amen to what you're doing. And what a wonderful way to spend Christmas. So, hey, you guys, remember, we are here for you. We're in your corner. If you have anything at all you want to pray, us to pray for, please reach out to us. Well, you can visit us at anewthinglive.com, but really my heart is email us at anewthing.live@gmail.com so that we can pray for you, especially during these seasons. We know that there are some hard times and some things that people are going through. We want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. If you have not yet, please do subscribe to our channel. We have a wonderful episode lined up for you week after week, encouraging different people, creatives. Some are counselors, some are coaches, some are pastors. And I believe that you truly will be encouraged. And at the very least, just come to a safe space to hang out, even put us on while you're cooking, whatever. But we do love that you join us. Have an incredible week. Mark your calendar for next Monday night at 7 p.m. It's our Christmas holiday, A New Thing Live. And I will be here, and I pray that you are too. Have a blessed week, and we'll see you next week on A New Thing Live. Bye-bye.